blowing up right now. All right. And I've got to make a confession. I messed up the time by 1 hour. So even though we're here just a couple minutes late, I was about 1 hour out of my time frame. So let's do this. Unfortunately, I haven't even invited our special guest, but it'll give everyone a chance just to, be able to invite a few people and, kind of test this thing out. I told you this was going to be a test drive. I am super excited about our guest speaker tonight. I think that it's going to be a fantastic interview. I'm happy to see a lot of people who are already here live. Jeff, I see you. Michelle, if you can hear my audio good, let me know by putting a bunch of ones in the comment on the side there. And I want to make sure the audio is good. Audio good. I'm going to invite our guest. I can hear a little noise. Oh, okay. Figure out how to mute that. Wow. I'm figuring this thing out. So let's see. Thank you, everyone, for being on time and early. This is going to be a fantastic night. I'm super fired up about just the questions we have and overall just hearing more from Daniel. I've been wanting to be able to have an interview with him for a while. And it's funny, I was over here getting all excited, like counting down the hour. Vince goes, "Hey, you're live in like 2 minutes." I'm like, really? I don't think the time's right. Okay, so the last thing I need to do is invite my guest, and I believe we are good. Okay, so hopefully this will work. All the emails went out, and I'm checking the Healtv. I see a lot of people over there commenting. I can't quite see how many are here live yet, but overall, it looks to be working good. I see, yeah, awesome. Arak, Eric. It doesn't show how many people are live yet, but I know that there's a good amount of you here. Kenneth, I can see you. Adam Shelton, I can see you. Throw a bunch of fives in the comments if you can actually hear me good. Just a bunch of fives in the comment section so that I know that you can hear me well. And I did just finally send our invite link out, and I know our guest is going to be here jumping on in just a moment. So, wow, I'm excited. Got to get my questions out and dive into this thing. So cool. I'm glad to see that everyone's diving in here. Thank you, Jaden and Carlos and Michelle and Sean. Thank you, Vince, for sending out the email, and for Eric getting it going. Yes, Kenneth, our guest is coming in tonight. I believe he's on the East Coast, so he's late into the evening. It's been a Sunday. I know a Mother's Day for everyone. Great to have you, Daniel. All right, so get this out. Coming down to the wire. I mean, coming down to the wire. Okay, so I've confirmed the audio's good. The video's good. And this is what we're going to do just for the next 2 minutes, because we had a little technical difficulties, which we kind of expected. This is the first time actually using this platform. We just sent out the message. I'm going to go ahead and let's make sure that we did invite anyone possible. I did want to send this into Facebook to try to do that as well. I don't know, Vince, if we can try to do that on the fly just for fun to see how that works. Angeline, we're about to start in just a minute. You are right on time. Daniel's here. He's in the waiting room. He's getting fired up. He's inviting some people. Myra, I see that you're here. Sean, Tara, it says 9 people, but I see about 30. So, all right. Welcome to Healtv. Welcome, everybody. We are rocking and rolling. I see Keith is in the house. It says that you are a guest. Let's see, Carlos. Okay, I did refresh and it does show a lot more. Yes. No worries, Vince. I guess I needed to link it on my end. I don't really want to try to do it during the thing. I think what the main goal would be, actually, it would be kind of fun to try to do it on the fly. Maybe Zoom can also stream to Facebook. Let me look just for fun. There's sometimes the only way to know. No, it only allows one broadcast. So if I go into Zoom, do I need to link it from Zoom or do I link it from Vimeo? And while everyone's jumping on, um, as I said, one of the main things I want to do is I want to test this platform out. So let's see. You can also try from Vimeo. All right. Thank you, Daniel, for hanging tight for me. I'm going to connect this. I'm going to try to do something while we're doing this live before we start with Daniel so we don't have a lot of distractions. But I'm going into the back office. Okay, my mom texts me. I'm watching, but I can't figure out how to comment. Okay, I think you need to sign in to comment. And I'm actually linking this so it'll be able to go right into Facebook as well. All right, this is cool. We're getting somewhere. That was a weird notification. All right. I'm one step away from having this thing so it can actually go into Facebook at the same time. But the technical question looks a little like almost out of my pay grade. Let's see. Yep. All right. I'm not going to try to do that. Oh, I just got a notification that I've changed the settings. That could be good. Oh, yeah. Name and profile, picture required. Okay, I'm going to push the save. This is what people look like when they're actually. Okay, I'm going to remove this. This is what people look like when they're actually working on their computers. they're all like dialed into their thing. We kind of look funny. So it looks like I got one more step. And if this is possible to do it while I'm live, then it will stream into Facebook. If not, I gave it my best shot. Okay. Okay. No, it's giving me technical difficulties. All right. Well, it looks like we did get a good chunk of you here. Some people messaged me on Facebook and on text message and said they are here, but they weren't able to figure out the chat or something. So it looks like it's going well. And I'm going to try one more thing for just another moment. And then we're going to dive right in. Daniel's here. You have another minute that you can invite some more people. All right. Save. Well, I saved something, so I don't know if it worked. Okay. Now let's do this. I appreciate everybody's being here, and your time is incredibly valuable to me. And I don't want to keep anyone held up any longer. I just got to be honest with doing so many different things. Sometimes, especially driving around on this road trip, between the driving around the road trip and the amount of different things we're putting together at the same time, there's about one thing for sure that I personally didn't accomplish. And I was supposed to link this account to the Facebook page so it would be able to stream in there as a backup for those that weren't able to see it. But the good news is, I see a good chunk of you who are here, already 41 people. And I think that that's a great start. I believe that if we work together, we'll actually be able to double that number in the next 5 minutes by simply sharing this with other people. And I do see a lot of familiar faces. And so I'm really grateful that you're here, Margaret. You're here, Keith, Elfegio. I see Jeff. I see Arak. I know Lala's here. I know Angeline. Good to see you, Amy. And I want to go ahead and introduce our guest speaker for tonight, who I'm going to be interviewing. And before I bring them out, I just want to give you my take and a little backstory about Daniel. I first heard about Daniel back in December, and Paulo Barroso came up to me and said, "Hey, man, I really think it's important if you'll jump on a Zoom call with me and this guy, Daniel. And it won't be a waste of your time." And I remember I was in the Heal House and I was all excited. It was in December, early December. I think it was actually December 8th. And I remember the first time that I connected with Daniel, immediately I'm like, this guy has some intense energy. You can tell he's a guy who gets passion driven. And he was also very much like in the zone to make it happen for success right away. I've had a lot of different calls from Paulo with other people. Some seem to be in real curious mode. Curious, let me ask some questions and make sure that this ticks all the boxes for me. Daniel wasn't in that. He was like a hunter already out there with his gear on, ready to go into the woods. He was ready to go. He didn't want to waste any time. In fact, I believe it was that night or the next night. He's like, I'm going to do a Zoom tonight or the next night. And I got my team coming. And if you guys could both come on for me. And I was like, I like this guy. I can tell why, because I'm that kind of person too. Usually if I'm in that contemplation stage, I'm just silent. But when it comes time, especially if I want to connect with the owner of a company or, even call a guy like Paulo. If I'm calling a guy like Paulo, it's to do business. And that's what I love about Daniel. Then I got to know his story and how powerful and raw. And then I got to see other sides of him, his tenacity, his organization, his relentless leadership. I also got to see on that last live that we did at the Heal at Home event, which was spectacular. Daniel did one of the best jobs. He got everyone centered and focused and aligned and did this process with us. And it was fantastic. This guy is a superstar champion. And one more thing before I bring him out. I'm sure he might know this privately, but I haven't acknowledged him privately either, or anyone publicly. I've only talked to Vince and Eric about this, but Daniel has the most of everyone in the company. He has the very most active Heal VIPs that he's personally introduced into Heal. That is a massive accomplishment. He is this far becoming the first Heal CEO, and I like to bring him out. My great friend and someone who's just become a leader and an incredible entrepreneur with us. Are you there, my brother?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
I can hear you good, man. Thank you for being patient as we got the technical difficulties going.
Thanks for dealing with the growing pains.
Hey, that's part of the game, man. That's part of the role.
Yeah, buddy.
We got to grow. So how was your Mother's Day?
It's been okay. It's been okay. Just, adjusting, but I'll kind of share that with everybody a little bit later as we get going. I haven't seen it I got it on the phone here. I haven't seen, I don't know. Are we going to be gallery like side by side? Oh
I'm
yeah, no,
pretty
we're not
sure.
gallery. We're doing one at a time. So I don't know if you want to switch to gallery so we're side by side for the view.
Yeah, we can do that for sure. I'll switch to that. So what I'll do is I'll kind of dive right in, and then I'll switch the view. So as we're talking, people will be able to see us go back and forth. I told Daniel that I really wanted to do, I had some questions in my mind and I just jotted them down. I mean, I gave them to him literally 3 seconds ago because I thought he would have another hour, to be honest with you. So he could have it. I didn't think he needed to prepare for these specific questions, but I also think it's nice if he knew the direction I wanted to go, because I felt like it would really empower everyone to just dive deep, and we'll kind of start it off a little light though. And I really want to know, because I'm so curious about this with everybody, what is your biggest goal or what is your dream right now?
Well, I guess I'll answer that as a two-parter. Um, my biggest dream or my dream. So I have goals. I have short-term goals and I have long-term goals. So my short-term goal is, I mean, I have them written down right here. I track everything I do, and we can probably dive more into this a little bit later. But my short-term goals are just to be better than I was the day before and to hit my specific goals every single day. So every single day I have a goal to do $125 in sales and sponsor personally at least one VIP. Long-term goals, which is kind of like my big dream goal, is to get to $45,000 a month. And that's honestly, it's a number that I've had in my head. I have it on my vision board. I have it written down in my journal. And I've had that number written down for about 4 years. So that's kind of my dream goal right now that I'm working towards. And with everything I'm doing, with everything that Heal is working on right now, I see that happening. It's not if, it's just a matter of when.
So what would your life be like with $45,000 a month? Like, what would you do that you're not doing, and how would you be living?
Um, it's funny you say that because I just did a training with my team on crafting your perfect day.
Okay.
And with an income of about $45,000 a month, I could be living my perfect day just about every single day.
Mm.
And in that training that I did, I kind of did a Facebook Live with my team and my group. And I just walked through really just the absolute most essential level of detail that it's like as detailed as I could possibly get, where people think, oh, the perfect day. Oh yeah, I want to travel and go to the beach or whatever it is, or, I want to jump on a plane and go on an exotic vacation. I mean, I literally crafted out from the moment I got up in the morning, what I ate for breakfast, what I drank, where we went on a motorcycle ride, what I did in the afternoon, what I did in the morning, what I did in the evening. And it was every single detail. So, I mean, if money was no object and I was making $45,000 a month, I'd be living my perfect day almost, as much as I possibly could.
Yeah.
And, yeah, it's pretty amazing, but I mean, it would just be peace and joy. I don't know if I could tell you the exact details, but we don't, we only have so much time in the night, but, um, the feeling of joy and relaxation and peace and just abundance and fulfillment, all of that would be flowing through me every single day.
Yeah.
And really what I did from there would just be ways to share that with other people and get other people to that same level. I mean, that ultimately would be what I would be focused on from a work standpoint. When I wasn't kicking back, reading, traveling, enjoying life and everything else, I would be trying to get others around me to the same level that I was at.
I can see that you do that a lot. Like, you have a lot of team meetings, you have your chats. I mean, how much time are you spending helping other people build an online business?
From a leadership standpoint and a time standpoint, I probably do anywhere between 2 to 3 webinars a week. So it's really not a lot of time, but I'm also my for anyone on our team that's VIP and above, and this is a nugget for you guys that are watching. If you have it, and it doesn't matter if you have a team of 1 or you have a team of 10 or you have a team of 3, team size doesn't matter. Okay. Because when I first started, it was me and me, and then you bring on people, and But what I did is I created a chat in Skype group. So anyone that is on our team that's VIP and above, and it doesn't matter if I personally sponsor them or anyone below me personally sponsors a VIP, we invite them into that Skype group. And most of my VIPs are in there. And I'm active in that Skype group, 7 days a week, not every single hour of the day, but I kind of check in occasionally just to answer some questions, or, we do a weekly traffic rotator, and we just kind of help people up. When there's a brand new Healtv link, we like to share that links and say, hey guys, here's a new capture page. Here's a new link. Here's a new thing that Steven's working on. We're always giving people updates throughout the day, throughout the week. So I'm fairly active in there, but it doesn't take up a lot of time. It's just kind of checking in occasionally and answering an occasional question.
Well, you're real reliable. You're a reliable person. I think that's like one of the first words that would come to me. You're just reliable. You kind of remind me of that similar attribute as Keith, someone who I feel that I could count on. That's a great quality. So I appreciate that. And I want to go back and forth. That for everyone who's watching, we're going to dive into personal and professional elements of Daniel's life. And I do want to encourage you, because I'm able to see the chats, and it's cool. We got 60 or so people here right now live, and I know a lot of people are going to end up watching this. I can see all the comments that are rolling through. Some of you are on Daniel's team or you're not. Either way, if you have a question that you're like really have been wanting to ask him, go ahead and chat it in the comments, and towards the end, if we get enough time, we will. So the next question, I want to kind of dive into a personal side of your life.
Sure.
And today, especially, today's Mother's Day, and today's a really, really, really good day for some people. And today's a really, really, really bad day for some people. I know that. Some of my best friends, the guy I saw this morning, his name is Jeff. His mom died a couple years ago. He was actually in Seattle, flying to Cocoa Beach, where I'm from. I happened to go see him. I drove all the way to the airport just to see him, give him a hug, because, him losing his mom was one of the toughest things. So I don't want to think that everyone has a life like me, where it's my mom, my best friend, and still things are good. Today can be a tough day for people, and I want to recognize everyone who's here. One of the things we do with Heal is we're transparent, honest, and we try to work together. So, the question, long story short, is what is your biggest personal battle that you've ever had in your life? And what I really want to know is if you can tell and articulate it, like, how did you overcome it and what did you learn from it? Which I know is a tough question, man.
Yeah.
We don't always know what we learn in the process, but I also think that by talking to us about it, you learn even more about what you've done.
Sure. And you have to, a lot of people, when it comes to hard times in their life, they like to avoid it, or they dodge questions, or they kind of, will give you like a gray sort of, oh, I'm fine, everything's fine type of answer. But I think that people need to hear honesty sometimes, and people need to hear the truth. And, sometimes the truth hurts, and sometimes it's, but it might leave a scar, but scars heal and you can move forward with that. So the biggest, personal battle that I've ever gone through was last year was a professional and personal battle as well. But, a lot of people here in the Heal community know this, but we had a special needs son, and, he was our pride and joy. He was our world. And, we lost him last June, on June 7th. And that, rocked our world harder than, there aren't any words in any kind of earthly language that can describe that feeling. And I'm really having a hard time right now talking about that. But that was 100% the biggest battle that we ever went through. And, for those of you guys that are celebrating Mother's Day today, most of the time you guys can scroll through the Facebook timeline and it's all Skittles and rainbows and everybody's loving life and celebrating all these people. And, today's a pretty crappy day. It's a pretty crappy day because it's the first Mother's Day where, we haven't had our son, and it just sucks. So, you got to think of the good, like you mentioned earlier, and then you got to think about the not so good, because some people don't have the luxury of, having their loved ones around them. But to go back to last year, and this is kind of what I talked about at the Heal at Home event.
Let me just pause you real quick. I'm
Sure.
sorry. Tell us where were you? Bring us back to the day, like when things happen. Like, where were you? What was going on?
Everything was business as usual. Night before I put him to bed, everything was fine. Sat with him on the couch like I always do every single night until he falls asleep on my lap, put him to bed. The next morning, I got up and I went to work, and again, everything was normal and, typical daily routine. I wake up and I don't know, probably 4:30 or so in the morning, I got up and the monitor is always on my nightstand. So I look at the monitor, see that he's sleeping in his crib. Everything's good. I go to work. And then it's probably about 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning, I got a phone call from the nurse, and I can't repeat the words. I just can't talk about it, but I'd never made it home so fast, but by the time I got there, he was gone. He went into sleep.
Wow.
So, yeah.
All right. Well,
everything
what do you
from
do?
the phone call on was kind of a blur.
Yeah. So what have you? I mean, it's still too young to know. Like, when my brother died, it took me. It seemed like a decade before that one. Oh, like, this golden lesson of life. But that's 10 years. So what have you done in this last year to get to where you are? I mean, because you seem very grounded and you seem very strong and stable. Like, what do you do? How do you support your wife? How have you continued on as a man?
It took, from that day moving forward, I mean, obviously, everything took a backseat for months. The business took a backseat for months, and everything just kind of sunk in. It really just kind of sunk in. And I really didn't do a whole lot from a business standpoint. And from, my wife's a pretty gosh darn amazing woman, because, when we're each other's rock. And when I have a bad day or moment or time, she's there to lift me up and hug me and, be there for me. And then vice versa, when she's having a bad moment, bad day, bad time, I'm there and strong for her. So we kind of just leaned on each other for a couple of months, just trying to figure out life. And we ended up, we couldn't stay in our house. We were in that home for 4 years. We loved that home.
Yeah.
But there were just too many memories in that home. And that last year, that fall, so he went in June. So that fall, he was supposed to start school in September on the same street that we lived on. We lived on a dead end, cul-de-sac. And at the end of the street was a big circle where there was a brand new elementary school. And that's where he was supposed to go to school that year. So, yeah, we just couldn't stay there. So we ended up selling the house. We moved in November from Derry, New Hampshire. We're down in Haverhill, Massachusetts now. And we're actually living with my sister-in-law. We're in she has a condex type of duplex sort of house, and we're staying with her until, we got some money from the home, and we're really just kind of taking our time right now before we buy anything else. We're looking at, getting a place up in the mountains somewhere that we can kind of have as a central hub to travel and to hike and to do all the things that we want to do. But we're just really not in any kind of rush. We're just really taking our time and making sure that we're still adjusting to days like today, like Mother's Day. I can talk about from a business standpoint where things went from there in order to kind of get where I'm at now, if that's where you want me to.
Yeah, because I think the other question I really want to know is what is the hardest thing that's happened for you on a business or professional level?
Yeah, the business level is kind of a two-parter, and I'll explain both sides. Getting back up and moving again after we lost our son was really, really challenging, mostly mentally for me. Like the physical stuff, I mean, I can drive traffic, I can go buy clicks and send them to a link, but to be a leader for my team and to be, doing live webinars and really putting myself out there in the capacity that I was prior to June, it took months before I could get to that point. And for me, and this is what I shared during the Heal at Home event, the daily affirmations were something that I used every single day, every single morning to really give myself that kind of, that mindset, to put myself in that zone, into that flow state where I know I'm going to produce great things. I know I'm going to inspire a lot of people. And prior to our son passing, my affirmations were said a certain way. They were felt a certain way. They were, I just had a certain vibe to them. And then after that, it was really, really, and this is putting it extremely lightly, but extremely difficult to come up with words and phrases to motivate myself to get out there and go be the best person I could be. Because I didn't have the motivation, I didn't have the desire, and I didn't have the energy for it. And finally, I think in about September, I had 2 dry erase boards on my wall in my office in our old home. And I started writing down, I started journaling all of the words that brought me joy, all of the words that had meaning to me personally. And I sat in the room with my wife, and she was kind of sitting on my office chair, and I was standing on the dry erase board, and I was just writing down the words. I couldn't come up with an actual phrase. I couldn't come up with an actual affirmation or a quote, a phrase, a sentence. I couldn't come up with it, but I knew I could come up with the words. So I came up with joy, abundance, fulfillment, love, like support, strength, all of those things. And I wrote down probably 25, 30, maybe 40 words. And over the next 2 to 3 weeks, some days I would literally come in the office and I would sit in the chair and I would stare at the board until a phrase kind of hit me. And then on the blank dry erase board right next to it, I went and I wrote the phrase. So it took about 2 to 3 weeks. So finally, by about October, I finally had some new affirmations written, and I said them out loud several days in a row, several weeks in a row. And I tweaked them, bent them, shaped them, molded them, and finally got them by like November to the place where I was really comfortable with, and they felt great. And I said them, and I really started to kind of come back into my element, and I started to get grounded again, and I started to get focused again. And I can tell you one thing, and call it coincidence, call it divine intervention, call it whatever you want, but it was right at the very end of November that Paulo introduced me to Heal.
Wow.
So there were things that all kind of aligned just the way that they were designed to do. I want to flip it back really quick, and I won't spend a lot of time on this, but from a business standpoint and in a professional standpoint, one of the biggest challenges I had, specifically in like 2018, 2019, I was really leading massive teams, and I was doing a lot of work, and it wasn't just me. I had business partners. I had a lot of team players that were doing a lot of different things, but I really felt like I got to a point where I enjoyed what I did, but it just didn't feel like home. It
Right.
didn't feel like home to me because I have the skills, and this is what you learn when you're marketing online, is just developing a set of skills. I knew that I had the set of skills. I could go promote, like lotion if I wanted to and make money
You
at
could
it, but
sell anything online.
it's just not gonna, yeah, I can go promote water bottles, but it's just not gonna feel like home to me.
Right.
So I had to make a decision that I had built a strong team in 2019 with a newer business, newer to me, but not new as a new business. And then I had to make a decision that I needed to go pursue something that I was passionate about, and I had to make that decision. And I probably, honestly, I probably burned a couple of bridges along the way, but I know that for me personally, where I was at in my personal life, where my wife and I were at, where we want to go long term, where I need to go long term in my business and my mindset and my heart, that we both knew within a matter of seconds that it was the right decision. Getting to that decision, we had to have some conversations and some non-conversations that were pretty painful, and we had to kind of leave a team behind and then start a new team. But it was, in my heart of hearts, it was the right decision, and it led me to where I'm at today, and this is home to me.
Yeah, well, I'm really glad you brought this up, because not specific about everyone who's watching this is if they're marketing Heal. But the question I have for everyone who's watching this is, do you feel what you are doing is part of your home, or other ways to see it is like part of your life's purpose, or part of your calling, or part of your destiny? Because you either join companies for one of two reasons: for inspiration or desperation. And so obviously a guy like Daniel could do anything. He can market any business. Now, he could also market many businesses at the same time. But see, one thing I know Daniel and I share, and it wasn't very specific until he was just bringing this up, is we both really like have to do what we truly believe in to get somewhere with it. We can go make money with anything, but unless we believe in it, it just doesn't feel right. There's a big disconnect inside of us. So I'm grateful that you're sharing that. Also with the transition, the timing that you're bringing up, how it took you a while to do your affirmations ever again. So what was it? June, July, August, September, October, and then November, you're finally like, all right, I got something, right? It started clicking.
Yeah, it took a while, and honestly, it was crazy because I should have brought my journal up here. It's actually downstairs, but my journal like never leaves my side, and that's where I hand wrote my affirmations after I crafted them on the dry erase board. I finally wrote them down, and for the first probably 3 weeks, when I said them out loud, I actually had to have my journal open. And I would read them out loud. I would read them in my truck. I would read them in my on the couch. I would read them anywhere I could. I would take them out on a break and read them or whatever. And it's funny because I can go through and I would say a line and I'd be like, I like it, but I don't love it.
Yeah.
It's not there yet. And sometimes I would just go and I would cross a word out and I would write a new word. And I did that for a series of probably 2 or 3 months. And now it's at a point where it's just like, they're so dialed in. I can say them backwards and forwards. And they're finally at a place where they're so specific, which is really, really, really important. They're so specific and they're so dialed in. And I've shared personal results with you. Yeah. Like it puts you into flow state. It really just kind of puts you into flow state. But it was a battle. It was a battle getting to that place. It wasn't easy.
So what did Paulo say to you? Like, how were the conversations in the beginning, if you remember? Was it like through chat or what?
It was really simple. And I mean, in the 007 fashion.
Well, tell us the secrets of Paulo.
He just reached out to me and it was really simple. He just said, hey man, I don't know if you've seen what I have going on with this thing called Heal, but and he said the right words that got my attention because I had actually been hit up with Heal by a couple of other people. And I just kind of said, I'm all set. I was doing my thing. I had my business that I was running all of through 2019. I was going good. I hit one of the top ranks in the company, and everything was kind of, you know, going okay. And then Paulo just reached out in a really chill kind of way and just said, "Hey, man, not sure if you've seen or heard anything about this thing called Heal, but I really feel like it would resonate with you and in your community." Because he's familiar with my Facebook community, and he said, "I really feel this would resonate well with your community. If anything, just have a look at it." So I kind of let that sit in my inbox for like, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 days. And then finally I went back. I was like, all right, whatever. I had a free moment. So I went and I clicked and I saw your video, and it was one of those, like the light bulb just goes off. And I was like, huh, okay. I like what I'm hearing, so Ace and Rich have talked about this before, but I just kind of went down the rabbit hole and started watching a few videos, and I got back to Paulo and I was like, I like what I see. But here's the interesting part is after I watched several videos, I got in the back office, I clicked around, I looked at the pages. It was neat. It was clean. And here's where, for me, this is what helped me is I actually sat down at the kitchen table with my wife and I said, "Hey, babe," I'm like, "There's this thing." And anytime I bring a marketing opportunity to her, she's like, "What now?"
I wish I get a bit of fly on the wall.
Oh man. And it was a serious conversation, and she knew it though. So she didn't kind of like react right away. And I just said, "Listen, there's this thing. I've looked at it. I've watched it. I'm really liking what I see. I really, really like what I see, but I'm a one-man show." And I said to her flat out, I'm like, "I can't do this and do that at the same time. I can't pour my heart and soul into both. Yeah. It's got to be one or the other." And she's like, "What are you feeling?" And I'm like, "Well, I just need to sleep on it and see what happens." The very next day, and I've shared this story before, the very next day, one of the fastest growing legs in my downline from my old business in 2019, one of the fastest growing legs and one of like the most newest, inspiring, brightest leaders on my team gets tragically killed.
Wow.
So I knew that leg that was growing really, really fast was about to fizzle out, because he was the me of that leg. He was just driving, motivating, inspiring. He had his own Facebook group. He was just boom, boom, boom. But he was doing almost all the work for his team. And it was great, but he was just like a firecracker. He was just moving every day. And now he's gone.
Wow.
And
when was this? So I'm sorry, what?
This was in late November.
Okay.
This was in late November. And I said, and my wife comes home and I go, "You're never going to guess what happened." And I told her, and she's like, "So you're going to do that Heal thing?" And I'm like, "Yeah, yeah, I am." And it was
you're gonna do that Heal's like the home-based business that you can introduce to your wife.
But it was just like, it just happened everything just throughout the year, and especially the fall, all just in a weird way just kind of happened the way that it was supposed to happen. And not that people are supposed to go, but right. The things happened the way that they did, which led me to be here, and everything just fell into place. And I do feel like I'm home. So
what advice would you give to your 13-year-old self? Knowing what you know now, I'm guessing you're about the same age as me. Looking back, what advice would you give to your younger self?
Without sounding cliche, I would have, this is kind of the advice, like when I talk to like younger kids, and I say younger kids now, but like I'm about to be 43. Okay. So just to date myself, but when I talk to like, teenagers or even like early 20 somethings, I ask them, and I would probably ask my 13-year-old self or, a 13-year-old, the same question, like, what do you love to do? What do you absolutely love to do? What are you passionate about? Is it playing guitar? Is it sports, baseball, hockey? Is it, creating web pages or posting blogs, or like whatever it is, then like make that your passion, make that your passion project, and turn that into a career now. But at the same point, yes, I'm telling you, you can pretty much achieve anything you want in life, but you are going to have to work for it. It is not going to come free. It is not going to come easy, but you can get there, and you can get there with the right mindset, the right drive, the right practices, and the right discipline. You just need to make a decision of what you want to do. But of course, you're only 13, so you might not have that decision made yet, but I'm just letting you know that anything is possible, but it's going to require certain things in order to make that happen. I have these type of conversations because daily I'm around kind of a younger generation. So I do kind of share some insight every now and then, and just really talk about asking that question. What are you truly passionate about? Kind of along the lines of Gary Vee, because Gary Vee talks about that all the time. Like, what do you love to do? Like, make that your passion project, make that your career. You do have the ability to go do that. So with my younger self, I would have something along the lines of that type of conversation, but also making sure that they understood the importance of discipline, hard work, focus, mindset, so they can give themselves the kind of ground to stand on to get where they want to be.
Yeah. Well, great advice. Like everyone's commenting great advice. And it's kind of cool because I just switched back over and saw the comments. A few people, I guess they're brand new. A gentleman brand new just got started, and I joined with Daniel. So that's awesome that he's here, and he's here on the Healtv, the first time we're actually using it. Lamar, great advice. Angeline, great advice. But also, I think a lot of people, and you might know this or might not, but a lot of the guys that are watching this said they also relate with this. Like, Heal's kind of one of the things that they were comfortable more than the other businesses that kind of talk with their wife who wasn't, interested in building the business with them. But everyone, and I know this because I know a lot of the people in Heal more on a private level, because a lot of people have sent me their letters and their dreams and their private messages, which I knew they haven't shared with everybody. But a lot of people in this group have had some sort of tragedies. That's why, because I didn't want to end with the struggle part, right?
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to kind of go through it so we could get into it and we can have that relation and connection. And then we can get to more of the fun and exciting stuff, so we don't have to end with the struggle, right? Because I think we all go through the struggle, but if you're like Daniel and his wife and their family who's gone through it, had a breakthrough, and not saying it was easy, and definitely not saying that it's over, but he's on his journey and he's showing up as an incredible leader. I feel like he's like a professor as well. You have a professor, you have a professor style personality, that I feel like you could just school the whole classroom on literally like anything.
I'm ready to jump on a stage 24/7,
Yeah.
every day of the month, every day of the year. So it's all good.
Actually, you said that to me the first time I met you. Like, I'm ready right now to get on the stage and help motivate and inspire people. And like, I'm ready to do that right now.
Here's a quick funny story. I was literally sitting downstairs with my wife about 10 minutes before I came upstairs, and she's like, "Shouldn't you be like preparing or writing notes or getting ready for this?" I'm like, "No, like this is a piece of cake."
Yeah. That's awesome. Well, you're right. I mean, you've been groomed and you've done enough of you've done the 10,000 hours of work. People don't master mindset or affirmations and stuff like this without doing the actual work. In fact, most people that I know after tragedies, they don't even, for years, they don't think about going to do affirmations. Within 6 months, he's already back there. Like, I got to get some affirmations going on in my life. What were you saying?
It's just practice.
Yeah.
And I mean, building a business online, we talk about it in Bulletproof is three things: is mindset, traffic, and conversion. And that's just everything. That's kind of the tip of the umbrella right there. And as everything branches down from there, it's just setting up daily routines and practicing those routines.
Right.
So if it's mindset, if it's affirmations, if it's writing your goals down, it's all just practicing and getting really good at practicing.
Well, while you're talking about that, one of the questions I had is, what do you consider income producing activities? You know, talk us through, like, what are the things that you do consistently to make money, to create income for your business? Like, how are you the guy who's gotten, because you started a little bit after the people who were in front of you, the leaders that were in front of you.
Mhm.
How did you catch them and pass them in the amount of personal VIPs? Like, how did you do this? What is your process? What do you do?
All right. So
Give us the money
I'm
making tips.
I'm gonna let the cat out of the bag, and
All right.
I'm gonna tell you guys right now, whatever you're doing for the next 10 minutes, like close out Facebook, close out Skype, shut your TV off, and just I'm gonna literally give you the secret of exactly how I'm gonna hit CEO before anybody else. This is it.
Yeah, baby.
This is it right here. I'll speak that into existence. I don't care.
All right.
But so income producing activities for me are, I drive traffic every single day. Okay. So every single day I have traffic running. So I run on average about anywhere between 2,000 to 3,000 clicks a week, sometimes upwards of 5,000 clicks a week. Now, some people will say, oh, well, I only do 100 clicks a week. Well, guess what? Years ago when I got started, that's all I did, because that's all I could afford. I just kind of like chunked at it here and there. But here's what I set out to do.
Just hold on. Pause for a second, because
Sure.
I know that of the, let's call it 1,000 Heal VIPs. We got 1,000 Heal VIPs, and I'm going to guess about 90% of them don't do traffic at all. And about most of the rest, 2,000 clicks, they're like, because everyone, you know, they do 100 clicks or 200 clicks, and they may or may not get the results, and then they stop. So
Yep.
give us the process, like from
I'll,
100 to 2,000.
oh yeah, I'll get there. I'll get there. So income producing activities for me, let me just rattle off a few of them.
Okay.
And these are the main ones. And believe it or not, my main income producing activities, there's really not a lot. It's not like I spend, you know, hours and hours and hours per day doing income producing activities. I make, I'd say about 3 on average. I make about 3 videos a week. One of them is a YouTube video, and then I do 2 to 3 Facebook lives. Okay. So those are income producing activities. I drive traffic every single day, every single week, 365 days a year. So I always have traffic running, usually solo ads. Those are my go-tos. Okay. I have emails going out. I have an email autoresponder set up that I have emails going out, and I have an email campaign set up. I do use a 7-day campaign. So somebody opts into my capture page. There's 7 days worth of emails that go out. And I also email my list, my entire list, which is thousands and thousands and thousands of people. I email that list every single day. So those are my main income producing activities: videos, YouTube videos, Facebook lives, traffic, and my autoresponder. Those are my main things. Okay. I'm not in Facebook Messenger every day, cold messaging people. I'm not posting on Facebook every single day, although I do occasionally. But for me, I don't consider that a big income producer.
Okay.
Has it been in the past? Can I get results with it if I really take time and focus on it? Sure. But for me personally, that's not one of my go-tos. I just gave you all of my go-to income producing activities. So
Driving traffic.
here's the mindset that I want you guys to have if you want to scale your business. So I'll just ask you guys a question, and you guys can comment just yes or no below. Do you have an interest in scaling, which means taking your business from here and scaling it up to here? Do you have an interest in scaling your Heal business and making more money? If so, comment the word yes down below.
Like I do for sure. You know, I personally want to scale the whole company at least 5 times from where it is right now, from 200,000 a month to $1 million a month
Sure.
personally. So I got to do this and help others do it too. So yes, everyone's saying yes. Deborah, I don't know if you
Okay.
can see the comments.
So here's, and you said a key word earlier. You used the word desperation when it comes to joining an online business. So here's a mindset piece that I want you guys to think about. I want you guys to not need or want your heal income.
Ooh.
Now, most of you guys are going to go, ooh, I have bills to pay. I joined because I don't have a job and I want to make money online. Well, guess what? The reality is it's going to be very difficult unless you're into organic marketing and you're on Facebook a ton and you're getting out there and you're grinding and grinding and grinding. You can do it. But I want you guys to not need your heal income.
That's huge.
Because what I teach on my team is, and this is where strategy comes into play, because it's strategy that creates financial success. It's not luck. Yeah, it's hard work, but it's strategy that creates success. So what I do is I want you guys to pick a budget. So even if you start out with 100 clicks a week or 200 clicks a week or whatever you can financially afford, some of you guys just need to go get a job. I said it, but that's the reality. And I know right now it's a little tough with COVID and everything else, but have a weekly budget to drive traffic. And then as you start earning commissions, you start taking those commissions, even if it's $25 or $50 or $100 or whatever it is, and then you reinvest that back into your weekly traffic budget. So then instead of the next week you buy 100 clicks, maybe the next week you buy 120 clicks. And then the week after you buy 120 clicks because you didn't make any money. And then the week after that, you buy 150 clicks. The week after that, you buy 300 clicks. The week after that, you buy 350 clicks. I started this process a while back, and that got me up to the point where now I'm doing thousands and thousands of clicks today. Now, here's the question. How much money to buy traffic? So I'm literally spending over $1,000 a week on traffic. Over $1,000 a week. Okay. How much money comes out of my personal bank account to pay for my traffic? Steven, any guesses?
It almost seems like if you're spending $1,000 a week, you said 1,000 a week?
Give or take.
I mean, you would seem to be making about 1,000 a week. So
$0 comes out of my bank account because I reinvest my profits back into my business. I reinvest my profits back into my business all day, every day, especially since we get paid daily now. It's really, really cool. So I literally started small and I just kept working strategically, reinvesting my profits back into my traffic budget. So I was able to do that. And every single week now, every single month, I'm able to invest more and more and more money into traffic. Now you're probably saying to yourself, well, when are you going to take some money out? When are you going to pay bills? And when are you going to do all this stuff? Because I have other sources of income. So Heal for me is a long-term strategy. Heal for me, when I talk about making $45,000 a month, I'm not going to make that tomorrow. I'm not going to make that next month. I'm not even going to make that this fall. I might not even make that, a year from now. But I'm going to keep scaling and reinvesting my profits back into my business. Once it gets to a point where it really is just kind of on full-blown scaling momentum, then I can start taking chunks. I can start taking 20% personal and then 80% into the business. And as that continues to grow, I'll take 30% personal, 70% business, 40% personal, 60% business as that scale continues to grow. But in the beginning, you got to get that momentum going. You got to get that drive. You got to get that fuel, because how do you get a plane off the ground? Do you do it with 90% thrust? Do you do it with 95% thrust? Do you do it with 85% thrust to get that full blown, I don't know how many tons an airplane weighs, but to get that thing up and off the ground? No, you use 100% thrust. So if you want to scale your business, think about that strategy that I just talked about. That's how I've been able to get up to 75 VIPs.
Wow. I'm getting I'm getting my I'm getting my goods, baby. Um let me just there's a couple things in here that I think some people were they might have heard it, but I don't know if they really heard it. The first thing you said is to be in a place where you don't need your heal income.
Mm-hmm.
You don't need it. So everyone who's like living off of it and still struggling, what's the philosophy? Is it because you can't actually invest into the marketing if you're taking the money out? I mean, or you can't get like, let's just say for someone else that only, let's say that their goal is only to earn $5,000 a month and they're earning $5,000 a month. What would you say to that marketer?
Well, in order to be earning $5,000 a month, I mean, you have to be putting, I'll re-ask the question.
Okay.
So if you join Heal or any online business out of desperation because you need to make money, and I want you guys to really think about this. If you're joining an online business because you need money, how do you plan to go make that money? How do you plan? And this is where strategy again comes into play. How do you plan to put in the work to go make that money? You either have to do it one of two ways. You can spend a ton of time on social media, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, whatever, and you can put in the work, and you got to really work on your brand. You got to work on content. You got to be super consistent every single day, and you got to put in the hours to go make that money. Or you can use paid advertising. You really have two options. You go work for free, but it's going to cost you time, or you use paid advertising and it's going to save you time, but it's going to cost you money. I like option number 2 because it's faster. And then the reality is, for me, I say to people, sometimes you, and I've said this to people on my team, like, you probably need to go get a job. If you're homeless and you don't have any sources of income and you want to join Heal and you want that to be your breadwinner, you want that to put food on your plate, you got to go work. You got to get to work. That's the reality. And a lot of people don't like to hear that, but you got to get to work. So you got to figure out the means how you're going to go do that. And sometimes I've had people say, well, oh, I'll just go join another business opportunity. I'm like, it's not going to change.
What I was just thinking about is like the people, and I'm sure you have a lot in your team who are kind of part-time dabbling in just about everything.
Yeah.
Because it's the internet. Like, they wouldn't do that if they had to go to the job, because they wouldn't want to drive to 3 or 4 different jobs and only get like a part-time wage. It's like, no, I just want a thing that like I'll put in my time and get paid down the road.
Yeah, here's the reality, and I can share this from being online for 4 years. I teach experience, okay, and I've seen this over the course of years. Like, I didn't just pull this theory or this strategy out of thin air. I've seen and experienced this with 3 different companies over the course of 4 years, that when you can pick a weekly budget and you can stay consistent with paid advertising, guys, consistency is the name of the game. Consistency is king, and consistent action equals consistent results. And it's when people will sometimes join out of desperation, they'll throw a little mud at the wall, and if it doesn't stick, on to the next thing. You got to stay consistent. You have to stay consistent. And you need to think that this is a long-term strategy. You are in this for the long haul. So think about your family, think about your children, think about your spouse, think about your bank account, think about where you want to be 6, 12, 18, 24 months from now. For me, this isn't about tomorrow. This is not about next week. This is not about next month. This is about 3 years from now, when I'm making $45,000 a month and I'm living the life that everybody dreams about, and everyone's going to go, dude, that guy's lucky. And it's like, no, that guy worked his ass off to get where he is.
Well, I'm so grateful that you shared this strategy, Cause I mean, I need a dozen Daniels in my in my life. You know, people who are like, because that's how I have to see it, right? I can't like this phase that when I was doing 30,000 a month. Well, first of all, for the first 5 years, we were doing no money. Then we were doing 30,000 a month for 18 months. And some people thought I was the richest man ever. I'm like, dude, we're struggling. Like, this is such a hard place to be at, $1,000 a day. And so to scale from $1,000 a day to where we had a $40,000 day, you know, we had some $10,000 days, and we're doing $250,000 in a month, was like the hardest thing ever. But what it takes is a few good Daniels in your life, people to come in and really focus and provide leadership and strong strategies, because it helps me, you know, lead the thing in a way that like, we gotta get better for you. We have to create a better platform for you. We have to organize it better for you. You know what I mean? So I really appreciate it, because it truly inspires me as the owner of this company because, you know, if I know your dream, I love the saying is share your dream with us and we'll show you how to achieve it. You know, because your dream is crystal clear, 45,000 a month. You're willing to invest the time and the money into the strategy. You're willing to work long-term to make it happen. So my commitment is to be there for you as long as possible to get you to your goal.
Love it, man. Love it. Yeah. It's, you got to have a strategy. You got to have a strategy. And I think one of the most important things that we really didn't discuss that I do want to share, because this is something that I teach every single week. And this is another thing, like here's kind of an income producing activity that I didn't mention before, but every single Tuesday night, I do a training for new VIPs on my team. So every new VIP that comes on my team, whether I personally sponsor them, whether they're down below me, we do a new VIP training, and we go through almost the exact same strategy process that I just talked about: picking a weekly traffic budget, getting familiar with your capture pages, getting your traffic rolling. Like, it's kind of like, I call it ready, fire, aim. And it's, you get started, you get some traffic running right away, and then you go back in and you go watch the VIP coach. Then you go watch Bulletproof. But don't do that until you kind of get your business moving, because if you go, and this is where a lot of people get stuck, is they join and then they get in the back office and they watch video after video after video after video after video after video. Get it? And you get like info overwhelm and you take no action. So ready, fire, aim, you get started, you run traffic, and then you go learn some cool stuff. And then as you learn some cool stuff, you can kind of make adjustments to your income producing activities, your daily activities that you're doing. And during that VIP training, one of the most important things that we talk about, and it's the very first thing that I talk about it, no words come out of my mouth about traffic or capture pages or marketing or any of that until people have a goal. Because plain and simple, right now, for everybody that's watching this, you have to have a goal when you join. And it's okay. You can have short-term goals and you can have long-term goals. So as an example, if you're like, hey, I want to make $1,000 a day, great. That is not a short-term goal, my friend. That is a long-term goal, because I'm not there. Steven's not there. There's really, like, you're not there yet. So yeah, we all want to make $1,000 a day, and it's going to happen, but it's going to happen like out there. Okay. Short-term goal, you know, give it as an example, like a great short-term goal would be to sponsor 3 VIPs as fast as possible. Now, I know that some people on my team will know this answer as to why that's a great short-term goal, but I'll give you guys the answer. 3 VIPs will cover your monthly VIP cost. So that's why it's, you know, a great short-term goal is to go sponsor 3 VIPs as fast as possible, because now your monthly's covered. All right. So, but you got to have a goal. You have to join a business. If you're going to give yourself the self-discipline to put in the daily income producing activities, to put in the daily work, you have to have something to reach for. Because if you don't have something to reach for, you're literally just going to be like doing the dog paddle in a circle in a pond, just swimming around and around and around, not heading in any particular direction. So the very first thing you got to do is have a goal. And then even more importantly, get a pen and get some paper and write it down, because writing it down records it to memory more than just thinking about it or talking about it or typing it or putting it in an email. You write it down. All right. So as an example, in the month of April, I had a goal of $100 per day. And so, yes, I had a goal. I wrote it down. I went to Google and I printed out a blank calendar and I tracked. Tracking and measuring your results is another very, very important critical thing. So, right, Vince? So, so literally I wrote down my sales every single day and I tracked them. And for the entire month, I did $139. I averaged $139 a day. So in the month of May, I upped my goal and I also added a goal to it. So not only do I want to do $125 a day, but I also want to personally sponsor at least one new VIP every single day. So have a goal, write it down, give yourself purpose, give yourself something to reach for, and then write it down and go after it.
Dude, great sound advice. Consistency too. It kind of sounded like Jim Rohn was listening to him yesterday while I was driving. Like he's like dialing in that same concept in the people. And it was kind of funny because he's like, hey, I know you just came to this seminar. We're going to talk about something real basic, but this is what changed my life forever. And it was very similar. Daniel, what would you say, I want to talk about events for a minute,
Sure.
And your experience in the past with going to events and going to live events and what they've done for you. And, I know we've had to be flexible with our event strategy. We were going to do a live event in Orlando. Actually, I think it would have been this weekend.
Yeah.
We were going to do an event in Orlando this weekend, and praise God we didn't, because it would have just been a complete disaster. I already know I'm in downtown Seattle and there's no one in the whole entire Westin. There's not even one other guest in the whole hotel. So I know no one would have went to the event, but we've switched up our strategy. You were a speaker at our last event. We're going to do another event in about a month from now. What do you think the importance of events? Like, what have you got from them? Are you the type of person that believes that you should go to an event? And if so, why?
Here's the thing with events. Events are literally life-changing for most people that attend. If you go and it's a life-changing experience. You're going to walk away, especially a physical event where you can physically go and shake hands and give somebody a hug, and just kind of the vibe and energy in the air is just like there's like a synergy there that you're not going to experience anywhere else. You're not going to experience it online. You're not going to experience it over the phone. You're not going to experience that watching a video. You have to be there in person. And it just, without a doubt, if you go there and you take it serious, it will take your business and it will probably take your life to another level. And I've been to several in-person events. I've been to some events that have had, well over 1,000 people. I've been to events that have had, 25, 50 people, but events 100% are worth it. And I know sometimes people will say, well, like, oh, I can't afford it. And I can honestly tell you this, you can't afford not to.
Yeah.
Because to quote Jim Rohn, if you really want to do something, you'll find a way. If you don't, you'll find an excuse.
Yeah.
And that couldn't be any more true. So if you're talking about getting yourself to an event and you're truly serious about building a long-term business, like you're really, like you've made the decision, the ultimate decision that I'm going to make this happen. It's just, you got to find a way. You just have to find a way, because it will change your business for the better. It will change your outlook. It will change your perspective. It will change your results. It will change your actions. It will change your motivation. It will change your dedication. But if you don't go, if you find an excuse, then you're just not that serious.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the reason I'm asking, I'm a big event guy, and I just saw Deborah Schaefer, and it really just sparked exactly what was going on in my mind. She said, the physical event is what I'm waiting for. Now, I think she might be thinking like, that's what I'm excited for.
Yeah. Yep.
But the thing is, I thought long and hard about this. Paulo asked me, do you still think we'll do our event in November? And if you ask me right now, yes or no, and I had to make a decision, it would be a definite no. Not because I don't want to, but because I believe the way that the environment right now is with people actually physically traveling to places.
Mhm.
So that's why I felt like, hey, you know what? We better put the pedal to the metal and create something. And what was so amazing is last time when we did our Heal at Home event, the experience that everybody left with was unbelievable. Like, I didn't know we could come that close to creating this actual experience. But what's really cool is since then, we're about a month down the road, the people that have attended, I've noticed that they've not only been more active in the community, but they've increased their income. And I believe it's because their belief level has risen. You know, the belief in what they're doing, the belief in the people who they're connected with in the event. So yeah, I'm super stoked about what we're going to be doing in about a month with a new event as well. And when is the last time you went to, so have you gone to more networking events, or have you gone to personal development events, or what kind have you gone to in the past?
I've gone to, MLM company national events. I've gone to kind of affiliate marketing events. I've gone to exclusive retreats that are, about 15 to 20 people that are personally invited, that are in, a really all-inclusive, like an all-inclusive resort, or like a high-end, mansion mastermind type of thing. So I've been to many different types of events, and they all have their own specific purpose and benefit. For me, you know, I like the hotel style setting that has a room packed with about 1,000+ people, great lighting, great music, and just, when the lights go down and the event starts, like there's just a vibe, you can just feel the energy in the room. And when the presenters come up and like everyone is glued in, they got their notepads out, like that for me is just, out of all the different type of events, like those for me are the type of events that I like to go to. And those for me are the events that I like to speak at and just, literally just raise the room up.
Dude, I can see you being a really good speaker. Who here thinks that Daniel has that gift to be a public speaker, a big presenter? So, one last question I got is, where would your dream vacation be? If you had the chance to, next week take a couple weeks off, or however long you went, and pack up your gear, and you didn't have to worry about work or anything. I mean, you could work while you're there if you want, if you're like me. But what would be like Daniel's dream vacation, or dream getaway, or dream destination?
Well, I'll tell you one. We kind of had one in January because we had always wanted to go to Aruba. So we went to Aruba in January, and we stayed at an all-inclusive, and it was just really amazing, really amazing. It was really relaxing, and I got to do things that I never thought that I'd be interested in doing. Like I've never been a big reader. I always listen to, like, if I'm listening to personal development, I'm listening like to a podcast, or I'm listening to like an audiobook or something like that. And I read a couple of books, just quintessential sitting on the beach with under the big palm tree umbrella, reading a book, sipping a cocktail for hours on end. And like time was just like didn't exist. And it was amazing. So we got to experience that, and it was really, really cool. I loved it. We didn't want to go home at all. But for me, if I could just be anywhere tomorrow, I would probably, location aside, because I know like there's Bali and Thailand and all these different places, but I would want to be on a really nice, really amazing, like glass floor hut, part of it, not the whole thing, but part of it, like a glass floor, a hut out over the water, with other huts out over the water, and just like, having a hammock swinging along, having your own like little mini pool or a ladder that goes down into the water, and having your own little kitchen, maybe a couple of bedrooms, a living room, and the whole thing just open concept, all open to the ocean, and just absolute peace, breeze, some nice cocktails, some great books to read, silence, tranquility, and just total relaxation. That's, if I could be anywhere tomorrow, that's probably where I'd be.
Dude, that sounds like the Maldives.
Yes, exactly.
I all of a sudden I'm like, that looks and sounds like the Maldives.
Did you say leadership retreat? Is that what you said?
Yeah, I'm hoping to do something that you can win your way there, or go there with the group, or we could all go there together. I think it'd be awesome, man.
Oh yeah.
Well, dude, I'm really grateful for you, and I really want cha-ching
Sale.
I know there was some we didn't do it. I'll talk about it in just a minute with everybody, what's all going on this page after we wrap this up. But I know a few people while we were doing this. I saw Adam Shelton. He bought the event like before we even started, and Paulo Barroso, he bought it. And then, some people were buying it who it's on here. Some people are brand new to the Discover Heal TV, the Heal TV page that we're just really wanting to test and break and all that. But anyhow, Daniel, what advice do you have everybody who starts out to Monday morning? It's been a long week for some people. It's been a long season. I know a lot of people are in kind of coming out of struggle mode. What's the best advice for everyone for Monday morning? What should we do?
Know what you're going to do Monday morning, Sunday night. Just have everything, whatever you want to accomplish Monday morning, have it written down Sunday night and have a plan and attack it. That's about as stupid simple as you can get. Don't wait till Monday morning to say, what am I going to do? Write it down on Sunday night.
Who's committed to doing that? In the comments below, put yes. All capitals, YES. All right, brother. Well, I know it's getting late over there for you. I think it's like 10:30, man. I appreciate you.
10 to the 2-6.
Dude, thank you so much for showing up, for helping, for keeping us moving forward. We're striving to make a dream business for you and your family, and I'm really grateful for your time tonight.
Awesome. Thanks for having me here. I love these webinars. Anytime we can help the community with value and insights and anything that they can use to better themselves and their business, then that's what we're here for.
We appreciate you, brother. Everyone said yes. All right.
A lot of yeses coming,
Daniel. Have a good night, brother. Sleep good. I'm going to press on for another, 2 or 3 hours. We're going to keep on going for 2 or 3 hours.
Don't forget to sleep. You got OTO videos to make.
I know. I got a lot of work to do, but I'm going to open this up screen and look at it. I'll see you tomorrow, brother.
All right. We'll talk then, man. Take care.
Okay, so everyone who's on Heal TV, let's dive into a little bit more like the technical side and just a vision of what we're going to do in the next few days. So we're all on the same page. Daniel, how was his performance? As always, that was really good. And what is just so many people have reached out to me and said, I just have a really good feeling about Daniel. I just got this really good feeling about him. In a lot of ways, it just seems like, he was chosen to come in here and to help lead our community in a lot of different ways. He's made a big impact in many different ways. He's helped on a leadership level. He's helped as an affiliate. He's helped on the technical side, on the back end, try to help in every single day as much as he can. He's helped to arrange leaders. He's helped, he's done the spotlights every single week. So the guy's done some serious amount of work to help us. And he's doing this because of his goal of hitting 45K. Quick recap of some key things he said is get to a place where you don't need your Heal income. Pick a budget and stick to that to drive traffic. That's incredible. Some people need to get a job, a part-time job, a day job, a side job, a job, so they have income, so they're not stressing off $700 a month with Heal or $1,000 a month with Heal. And someone I look like my mom is a great example. She has an income and she's still like, I'm determined to do this. I want to do this and I want to win. Reinvest all of his profits into traffic. And he's looking at that long-term strategy. He was at $100 a day goal. Then he moved up to $125 a day goal. And his big picture goal is 45K a month. And that's a little over $1,000 a day. I think it's $1,500 a day, actually, if he knows. But he does that through this ready, fire, aim process. And, he's spot on when he says you must have a goal. And start out with 3, get 3 right away. 3 and it's free. 3 and it's free. So Frank Schools, I appreciate your comments. I love Heal TV. It's way better than Facebook. Just a quick thing, if you would give us a thumbs up or thumbs down. We don't have that. Give us a 1 to 10, 10 being the absolute best. And don't lie, just be realistic. How would you rate this platform? Now, on this page, a couple different things. If you're just here and you're a guest, welcome. If you are a guest, we're grateful that you're here. This is a legacy company. This is a transformational company. We help people and we get paid to do that. As a Heal VIP, you get access to about a $500,000 marketing system with landing pages, capture pages, email follow-up, support, everything that you could imagine to build a business. It's fully ready. It's turnkey. It's ready to go. You can hit the ground running. You can start now. And you can begin getting paid daily right away. We do pay out daily every single day. Some companies wait about 30 days to pay your first commission. We just keep it going because I know that all of you have, advertising, marketing, expenses to build and to grow your business so you could hit your goal like Daniel. Not everyone has that same goal, and there is no guarantees of income. However, we've made it so you have a real big advantage to do this. And trust me, I looked high and low for the perfect company to join. I could not find the company that I was looking for. So I literally had to create it. I wanted a company that I could do from home, number one, that I could do while traveling. I needed that flexibility. I needed a company that was mainly online, cloud-based. I wanted something that had a mix of digital and tangible products. I wanted to be able to earn on everything, whether it was the hats, the shirts, the digital products, the physical products, and the events, which I'll talk about in just a second. And ultimately, I wanted a transformational experience. I wanted something that I could feel good about, that I could believe in. And ultimately, I wanted to be part of something that I could consider like a family, a home, a community that I loved. And so that's why Heal is what it is today. It's a true legacy company. So if you're just here new as a guest, on the top right, it says become a Heal VIP. That's probably the first thing I would do. Click on that, become a Heal VIP, and get started with that today. Again, that gives you access to everything to turn around and start making daily income. On the bottom and the right, it says past episodes. You can see the Wild Wild West trip that we started. It's releasing it today. There's going to be 14 videos. They get so much better. The first day, I think, is maybe the worst one because I wasn't really aware of what I was going to do or where I was going. I was just kind of messing around. It really starts kicking in, though, a couple days into it. I go to some of the most spectacular places. I get in a tent and I get a bear nudging on me. I'm building campfires. I'm staying in Marriott's. I'm driving through the mountains. I see rolling hills. It's all there. My mom's there for part of it. I drop her at the airport in the middle of it. You're going to love it. That's right there, the Wild Wild West trip. Once you become a Heal VIP, and those of you who already did become a Heal VIP, you'll be able to share all of those with marketing links. So you can just share them that are real kind of subtle and soft and give people an experience, which then they can turn around and join your business. So you're going to have access to share all of those. And today I just started a brand new drive-by tour. So it's going to be, I believe, a West Coast drive-by where the whole concept is I'm going to drive to your home. I'm going to spend 15 minutes outside of your house, not long. It'll be less than 30 minutes. We might have a coffee or, break bread or do something, take a selfie, do a quick selfie video in front of the car, the Heal car, and just say hi. I don't care what your house looks like. I don't care what you look like. I don't care what your car looks like. I just want to come and tell you hi, I love you, and give you a high five, a hug, or whatever, and take a quick selfie with you. And I'm going to keep driving. And my goal is, if you are in Washington, I'm in the state of Washington. I could probably see you in the next couple of days. And then the next day, I think, is Portland, Oregon. And Portland's the city of Oregon. I know that. I figured that out the hard way. And then you got California. So let me know where you're at. If you're in a city near me, I might be able to swing by your house or into your local neighborhood coffee shop or something. Now, what else? The Heal Fest and the money train. So the train is taking off, and it's not going to wait for anybody. It's just not. I learned the hard way in life how to get involved in things and to be a champion. I remember the very first time I asked one of my mentors if they would give me money to get involved in the company. And they're like, no, if I do that, you'll never learn. I said, well, if it's so good, why don't you just comp me or pay my way or give me the money and I'll give it back to you? He said, you won't learn. You won't get to where you want to go. And I was like, what a jerk. But then I thought about it for like 3 or 4 years. And man, what a gold lesson that was. See, if you want more out of life, you must become more. If you want greater results in life, you got to become better. You know what I mean? And I know for sure showing up and taking action are my best friends. If I show up and I take action, everything in my life expands. Look, I don't necessarily want, I'm an introvert in a lot of ways. I don't want to like driving around is not that easy. Like driving around and driving, it's because I'm an action taker. It's because I like to show up and make an impact in people's life. So we have an event planned in 1 month from now. It's going to be our 6-year reunion. It's going to be Heal Fest. It's going to be in the summer in June. It's going to be an extraordinary event. And I'm working on some super awesome speakers. The majority of the speakers are not going to be within Heal. They won't be people that you've heard speak before. We want to do something a little bit different, a little bit spicy, and make it so the experience is just bar none on another level. You have the opportunity to secure your seat and to get a ticket. We are starting the Heal Money Train, and I'll put out a video about it. I don't know if it's on this page, but I'll make sure that you do get it. And the way it works is really cool. You'll be able to share it with other people. They can take a free look at it and secure their spot for 7 days. During that time, other people are going to be able to get started. And if they get started after them, we're going to do what we did and we're going to pass up some of the money. We want to do this so we can have a good variety going on. We want money to be able to flow into everyone's pocket so we can all grow now. I don't want anyone to wait until after a virus has left the building for you to become your absolute greatest. I don't want you to wait until a new season to work and make things happen right now. So we're going to do another event. It's going to be better than the one before. If you came to the event before, it's going to be much better than that. The platform is going to be better. The entertainment is going to be better. The whole entire experience is going to be better. And I know that's hard to believe. So we're going to take it to a whole nother level. And I want to invite you right now to get your ticket and secure it now. Secure it early, get it out of the way, make it happen. It doesn't matter how you have to do it. Just make it a commitment now, okay? No matter what you do, make this your commitment and put it right now. I know someone just did. Iraq, you're watching this right now. I just saw that you did it, as it should change. That's the sound of the money train. And the way it works is this. You start right now. Whenever you start, we're going to pass up so people share in the income. And we're taking 10% of that or so, and we're dividing it above people who already got started before you, okay? As just a way to helping people. We want to do this right now because I believe this is the time that we need to take community to a whole nother level. Now, if you're thinking about a train, the way trains work are very simple. I don't know if you've ever been on a train, but I have. I remember that one time I got left by the train. It was the absolute worst experience of my life up until that point. I'll tell you the story right now. I was dating a girl at the time, and Lamar, I see that you just got your ticket. And I'm announce the names as they get them. So Lamar, you just got yours. Iraq, you just got yours. And I know that Keith, you got yours. 297. Tiger, you did yours. Susan Ware, Paulo Barroso, Adam Shelton. I'll announce all the names in a second. But I was dating a girl, okay, and things didn't work out between us. And I was like, all right, no big deal, just take me to the train. We had a fight, okay? Take me to the train. So she took me to the train.
I'll drop you off at the train. So she takes me, she didn't even take me all the way to the train. She took me almost to the train. So I'm just far enough with just enough time. Then I'm going to get on the train. I'm going to take the train about 2 hours away. I think it was like from Tampa to Orlando. And then I was going to have my friend or my mom or whatever pick me up in Orlando. So I get dropped off and I'm walking towards the train. And as I'm starting to get close, and I'm just going to text my mom, you know, like, hey, I'm going to do this train thing or whatever. And like, I start to realize, wow, I think the train's there. And I'm like, oh, that's my train. So I speed it up because I see the train. All right. I get up to the thing and I got to get my ticket, right? So I go in to get my ticket with my card and my card doesn't work. I'm like, oh man, I thought I had $24 on my card. And I can't remember like if I didn't have the money or whatever at that time, but there was a little bit of a lag. I'm talking like minutes. Okay, I don't have my $24 on the card, so I'm kind of shuffling around. I got to get another card or cash, or I had to call my mom and have her to transfer money or something ridiculous, $26. Well, in that matter of less than 10 minutes of time, guess what happened? The train starts up, and you can hear it. And trains are loud, like when they're about to go. No matter what your excuse is, no matter what your reason is, that train is scheduled to leave. It leaves. And when it leaves, it's gone. And it started up and I'm like, I told the lady, hey, just a second, please. I got this. Hold on 1 second. I'm gonna be able to get the ticket. I got it. I'm gonna be able to get the ticket. And she's like thinking I'm like, this guy's lost his mind. Now, this is also what I've learned. She was then able to successfully sell me the ticket. So I'm going, and then I'm realizing like, dude, the doors are closed. Like, I want to get on. The train is already like rolling. I'm like, hey, I got the ticket. Like the ticket. They don't even care. The train just pulls out right in front of me. And I'm like, dude, what? And guess what? I'm all mad. At who? I'm mad at my girlfriend, ex-girlfriend. I'm mad at the train. I'm mad at the train keeper. I'm mad at my Visa card. I'm mad at my old boss. I'm mad at everybody. But guess whose fault it is? It's mine. I took too long from the walk. I took too long on my phone. I wasn't prepared with my finances. And I didn't think that that train would ever leave me, but it did. And the problem was I was then now stuck all the way on the other side of the state. And I had to do the most annoying thing ever is I had to ask my mom, my sweet, loving mother, and she'll remember this, to come pick me up. Hey, would you drive 4 hours to pick me up? Or I'm just going to sleep like on the street. And my mom, my sweet, loving mom, drove all the way over 3 to 4 hours later just to pick me up and then drive all the way back. And guess what I learned that day? That there's no train that will ever wait for me. That if I would have only got on that train, I would have put so much less stress on my mom, so much less stress on me. I wouldn't have to sit there the whole time, you know, hanging out with the bums. I would have had this nice, smooth ride. I would have got out of town all easy. I wouldn't have had to feel guilty or regretful. And even the fact that I didn't get on the train made me even feel worse about the whole fight with the girlfriend. And I started to feel like, gosh, I'm just like such a loser. And the reason I share that story with you, because it's so personal, is later in life, I grew up and I realized like I must own all of my actions and outcomes. And that's when I stopped asking my sponsor or people, hey, would you help me out? And that's when I started to really take this seriously. Hey, at the end of the day, the train's not going to wait for me. And at the end of the day, no one's going to just bail me out. I need to do this. I must do this. I must make this happen. Because if I got to ask somebody else to come pick me up, it's like embarrassing. And so I started to get a little bit more resourceful. And what I started to do is I started to realize that I had things in my life that were holding me back, things that I didn't even need. And I started to sell those things and move those things out of my, the clutter out of the garage, the stuff that's in the attic that I don't need anymore. And I started to sell things on Craigslist, and I started to advertise, and I started to realize like, oh, I'm actually pretty good at stuff. I could offer my services in time to help people. And if I did that good enough, things would come back to me. I wasn't just like a consumer. I wanted to be a creator and a producer. And see, look, the reason I want to do this event with you and I want you to show up is I want to help you in a total immersion style right here on Healtv in a private setting. And I want to give you so much value that you can expand and take your life way to the next level. So to spend a couple $100 is what it's going to cost you, is literally the most inexpensive, invaluable thing that I believe that you'll do this summer. Okay. If you're going to do one thing, go to this event. Go to this event, show up, be part of the experience, and walk away so much better than ever before. Look, it's just proven. In our last event, let's just say an easy number is 100 people bought a ticket. Now, I know no more than that bought it, but we did have 100 live, okay, a little more. If 100 people bought a ticket and they all showed up and they watched the event, and more than 90% of them since the event have increased in their income and their experience and their happiness and their joy and how they feel about Heal, then it's obviously beneficial. And in fact, I already know that all those people are going to make the decision to get on the train. The only thing I don't know is, what about you? Are you going to get on the train? Are you going to board the Heal Money train? Now, are you going to do it out of inspiration or out of desperation? Do it out of inspiration. Inspiration is when you make the decision now. It's not when you look and say, oh, I don't want to miss out. 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 Look, you're going to get to the, oh, I don't want to miss out phase. It's going to come to you. And if you do miss out, guess what most people do when they miss out? Oh, I don't even care about that anyhow. I don't care about my future. I don't care about my destiny. I don't care about greatness. I don't care about financial freedom. I don't care about my 45K. I don't care about success, because they're wanting to make a justification, an excuse of why they aren't succeeding, of why they aren't growing, because they weren't able to buy the ticket in time to get on the train. And the train left the station. And all of a sudden it's like, oh, I didn't even want to get on that train. I don't want to ride that stupid train, even though it's twice as fast. It saved my mom so much hassle. The reason I shared that personal story is this. I believe that if you get smart right now and you get laser focused right now, and you make a decision that I'm going to learn everything that I can from a guy like Steven, who came from the ashes, who started with absolutely nothing. Look, I didn't have a special, most companies that start like this, did you know that most companies, like I'm talking 90+% of the companies that get to this phase, they start with a minimum of $400,000 or $500,000, a bare bones, small scrap money, 400 grand. Minimum. And that would be like the cheapest. In fact, I have went through and I have talked to dozens of CEOs. I've talked to thousands of financial experts who are either merchant suppliers. The merchant people know the businesses more than anybody. I talk to every merchant account on the phone over and over and over and over and over again. I know all their phone numbers. I know the name of their dogs. The reason is I'm the guy who had no money, and all of them are like, dude, starting a company like this with a $500,000 is a shoestring budget. Starting it with $1 is literally, it is the impossible thing, right? But it is possible because I did do it. And so you got to make a decision. It's not going to be easy for everybody. It's a decision though. Is my time of showing up enough? Or is there massive action required? Massive action. It's required. In order to get on the train, the Heal Money train, you need to buy your ticket and you need to get on board. End of story. Do it, and you're going to get to where you want to go so much faster with much less hassle. The reason I shared that specific story is I got to a point in my life where I was like, I have got to change. I don't want to be a liability any longer, because that's what I was. Guess what I wanted to do? I wanted to go from liability. Can anyone guess what the word is? What isn't a liability? What's the opposite of a liability? That's where I wanted to go. I wanted to go from the opposite of liability. Yes, I wanted to become an asset. I wanted other people to rely on me, to say, when they think of Stephen Munson, they go, I know that if I'm around him, I'll succeed. I know that if I'm around him, I'll be happy. I know that if I get around him, I'll elevate. I know that if I spend time with him, I'll grow, I'll increase. I wanted to be an asset. I didn't want to be a liability. So I want to retire my mom. And even though, like, no matter how much money I gave to my mom, she wouldn't stop working and she wouldn't retire. She just loves the entrepreneurial life. She loves it. She likes adventure. She likes travel. That's why she loves this digital model more than anything ever. An asset. And I believe that if you understand what it takes to be an asset, investing into this personal and professional development is bar none the best thing that you can do with your life. Personal development is what's transferring wealth in the world. You know, if they took all the money in the world and they divided it amongst everyone equally, they say that it would eventually get back in the same hands. The question is what will come to you? What's coming into your life? I already know that people that make excuses get more excuses and they get more disappointments. I didn't want to be the guy who had to call my mom and ask her to transfer $26 so I could get a ticket to get on the train. And then even though she transferred the money, I still missed the train. That's no way to live. I want to be the guy who could send the train to my mom. I want to be able to send a car to her, buy her a house, do anything that she would ever need. But in order to do something like that, I have to be financially fit and strong. And so I want to invite you right now to be able to come to our Heal event. It is virtual, 100%. It's all on this platform. It'll be really cool. The last one we did was awesome. It was 2 days long. We had lots of music. We had lots of great speakers. We did an after party. It was fantastic all around. And this one's going to be even better. Now, to give you a quick, and I'm going to finish with this. I know it's getting late for a lot of you. If you got to go, go. But if you want to learn, stay. And if you go to a real event live in Orlando, like we were talking about, let's say the event ticket is $300. All right. Now, I've been to most of the events that I've been to for free were horrible. I didn't even want to sit down. I wanted to run. I've been to events that were $100, and I honestly felt like they owed me $100. Now, I've also been to events that were on the low end $600, and at the end of the event, all I wanted to do was stay in the event as long as possible. I never wanted to leave. Also, at the end of the event, they offered me to go to another event. And I remember, this is a fact, the first time I ever went to a $600 event, I bought another event for $2,000, and I bought another event for $10,000. And I went all in, 10 grand. And trust me when I tell you this, I did not have the 10,000. In fact, this is how it went. At the end of the event, I'd already paid my money and scrapped all my coins together just to get in the event. At the very end, you could go to this other event, which was like, I could go to Fiji and I could have this total immersion experience. And it was like, I'm doing this no matter what. At the end of the event, you had to come up and do your payment, fill out the form. So I'm like, all right. I go up there and I said, well, how much is it? And they're like, it's 10 grand. I mean, it says it right there. It's $9,997. So I want everyone to write that number down. $9,997. Now, if I was going to ask you right now to go to an event, just take my word for it. Go to this event and pay $9,997. No matter how good you thought it was, how many of you can actually afford it? All right. So I'm like, I want to go to this event. I'm doing it no matter what. I'm going to this event. I'm going to get the $9,907. So I'm like, all right. So what's it cost again? $9,997. I said, I think someone mentioned that you could take payments. And they go, yeah, you can make a deposit now and then pay the sum in a month or whatever. I forgot what it was. I said, well, how much is the deposit? The deposit was $2,000. $2,000. Now we're talking 10 times as much as we're talking right now. 2,000 is 10 times as much as the Heal event, but it was also only 20% of the total price. Now guess how much I had in my pocket? Guess how much I had in my pocket? I had $100. I needed 2,000. So this is what I said. I said to them, look, I got an idea. I have a check with me right now. I didn't ask them. I just wrote down this check. I pulled out my checks. I had two. And I wrote the first check. I wrote a check for $2,000. And then I wrote another check for $7,997. I dated the first check 3 days from now. These are all people who are getting on the money train. I can't make that noise happen fake. It's real. Cha-ching, cha-ching. What's that? It's the sound of the train. It's the sound of the, we're getting on the train. We need that. We need the actual money train song. So I said, I'm going to give you the check for $2,000. And is there any way that you could deposit this on Monday? And the lady's like, yeah, it's Saturday. We're going to deposit on Monday. I go, okay, you deposit it Monday. And by then I'll figure out a way to get the event. All right. And then I'm going to give you the other check for $7,997 for 30 days from now. I'm going to figure out a way to get to the event. And I looked at this man in the eye and I said, no matter what, I'm going to this event. I gave him both of the checks. Honestly, this is what was cool about it. He literally looked me in the eyes and believed because of the determination that I had. If you don't have that about something like this, the odds are you won't show up. And the odds are you won't get your goal. And the odds are your life will stay the same. But see, I didn't want my life to stay the same. I was sick of being a loser. I was sick of the person who looked at everyone else with envy because I'm like, how are they doing it? And I'm not. I was so frustrated with other people succeeding on the internet. And I wasn't. I was, literally like just down so much with always looking out and seeing success and looking in and seeing failure, that I was determined for my life to take off. Now, this was a long time ago, but that long time ago decision helped me become the man I am today. So I share these with you in confidence that you know what to do next and you just act upon it and do it. Take action, make it happen. Let me just announce some of the names that came through. Frank, I see that you said I just got started, the money train. Oh, man. Okay, no worries. If you, this is a stay-at-home event, so if you are in Thailand, you'll be able to attend. So no worries. We appreciate you being here, our Thailand guest. Congratulations, Frank. Yep, Werner, it's an online event, so you'll be able to get to it. Congratulations, Jeff. Wow, look at these money trains. I'll just show you so you don't think I was making up stories. I don't know if you can see that, but the money train. All right. I'll read the last couple. Mandy Rutherford. And Mandy just made the decision to do it. Frank Schools. All aboard. Welcome, Frank. Great decision.
David, good job, brother. Quan, way to go. Now, I didn't see you commenting here, so you're obviously, I think there's more people here that are watching this that I haven't seen. Quan Nguyen from East Boston. Yeah. I can't wait to visit everyone. Boston's a long way away, but I got to get out there. Michelle from Ohio. Good job, Michelle. Dayton, Ohio. I'll never forget going there. Kevin Chase on another level. Michigan in the house. All aboard. Michigan in the house. Well, 1 second. I want to look at something real quick. Oh, I almost missed this. I just got to show you guys real quick before we wrap things up. Can you see this? Look at that. Hold on. Look at that view. Maybe I got to get out of the way. Beautiful view, right? Big mountain in the back, some flags, the coastline. This room, they upgraded me for free. I think you can see it, but I wanted to share this with you. And I think this is part of the future for all of us, to travel more, to see the world, to go to great places, to live our best lives together. You know what I mean? Like that sun setting in the background. Yes, it's paradise. Look, I want you to win. I have a heart for the people to win. Anyone who becomes a Heal VIP, I make it my mission and my commitment to help you succeed and to help you have absolute success in building your business. That's why I stayed here for an extra hour after the interview. And that's why I'm committed to show up every single day to serve you and to help you. We got a lot here in place for you. I encourage you tonight to make some decisions like Daniel was saying, and make your plans for what tomorrow is going to be for you and get organized on it and just diligently work towards it no matter what. Be committed, take massive action, just keep going and persevere and keep pressing on. And it's always better to learn from somebody who is living it. So I try to show you my story so you can understand where I came from, where I am, and where we are going together, and we're going places. Get access to the Heal VIP. If you have just joined here, become a VIP. Grab your ticket to the event by clicking on the button down at the bottom. Just click on Heal Fest, get your ticket, and get on the money train. There's lots to watch, lots to learn, lots of places we're going to go together. Have a fantastic night, and I'll see you again soon. It's time to heal. Every second, every minute, every hour, and every day. It's on you. If that noise isn't going off consistently in your phone, you got to get at it. You need to drive traffic. You got to take action. You got to show up. And that's the noise you're looking for. Cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching. All right. Now, there's no financial claims or guarantees. We've created a very fair and powerful way for people to be able to build a business from home while they're traveling, so you can see other places of the world or just live a better life from your own comfort of your own home, which I believe is what many of us want to do. Elfegio, Melina, congratulations. I'm sorry if I didn't announce everybody's name who did get started. I did my best to kind of scroll through these as we're going through, but congratulations, Elfegio. Congratulations, James Hall. Welcome to the Money Train. Welcome to the Heal Fest. It's going to be kicking off June 14th, which will be our 6-year anniversary. So we June 12th, June 13th, and June 14th. June 12th, 13th, and 14th. Everyone have a fantastic night. Wow, you guys are amazing for staying for this entire 2-hour live. We'll see you again soon.